Hari Om, good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Now let's pray together and seek blessings. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together, with obeisance, we offer our humble salutations to that omniscient, omnipotent divinity who also has the divine names Vagmihi, Mahendraha. To such a Lord, we completely bow down to seek His grace, His mercy, His blessings, His love, His compassion, His forgiveness, His strength. We beseech in Him to grant us these divine qualities, Shraddha, Bhakti, Gnana, and Vairagya, only and only to understand Thy true nature and have the first-hand experience of Aparoksha Anubhuti. O Lord, bless us that at the end of our lives we reach Thy holy feet. Om Tat Sat. With the grace of God and blessings of the Guru Parampara, today we are on our Divine Discourse number 298, the 6th of September 2022, Shubhakrit Nama Samvatsara Dakshinayan Varsharut Bhadrapada Masa Shukla Paksha Dashmi Purvashada Nakshatra Ayushman Yoge Bhadrakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all take a firm resolve. Shri Vishnu Preranaya, Shri Vishnu Prityatam, Naham Karta Harikar. All that is happening in our lives, every situation, every incident, every circumstance, every happening through a person, object, or place is only and only to uplift me from this ocean of births and deaths. It is all God made and God sent. I completely accept this with prasada buddhi, with complete surrender prapatti, and work in harmony and live in peace. Our humble salutations to Guru Parampara. Om. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome once again. So, it's yet another divine grace, I could say, that we are blessed to continue. Sometime back, we had touch based with chapter 4. Some students were, we had spoken about a limited period that, okay, the classes will be up to, say, next few months. And then they said we would like to have a gist of most of the chapters, whatever we can, so that we have an understanding. So that time we had covered chapter 4, chapter 5 in a very brief manner. But now I think things have changed. Now this is no more a COVID Bhagavad Gita. It has been a lifelong Bhagavad Gita now for us, where we all consciously took a decision that we are going to pursue the studies of the Shastra and the Gita in our life, and of course practice it. So in this context, what I thought was, let's revisit. 2 and 3 we have done in detail. That was in the month of April, May, June, we did that. So now 4 is where we took a shortcut. So we'll start from 4 in much more detail. See, the reason is each and every chapter, each and every verse has got some great depth to bring you closer to God. So nothing is a waste over here and nothing is in excess. So that we need to understand and take it in the right pursuit. So before going to 4, what we'll do is we'll just touch base on chapter 2 and 3 and then we'll get into chapter 4. I don't know whether we'll be able to even start the verse 1 today, but let's spend enough of understanding on the crux of chapter 4 in introduction with understanding the previous chapters. So, now if you mentally think, what is this scene and where is this Gita being told? What is the situation around? What is the mental state of Arjuna? And how the whole thing came up. So in chapter 1, which we are not going into any details, we know that the entire war has assembled. Both the Kauravas and the Pandavas have assembled in their respective places. All the so-called heroes have taken their positions. The conch shells have already been blown. And then the horn, the kettle drums, and various other noises are being exhibited only and only to enhance the enhance and prepare the warrior with that dopamine rush. So where now he has to start. In this scenario, Arjuna, he tells Krishna, take me slightly ahead, and I would like to see how the army formation of the Kauravas has been done. And when Lord Krishna takes him ahead, and then when he sees Pitamaha, his grandfather, and Dronacharya, his teacher, who taught him everything from the beginning, and Kripacharya, and of course all his cousins, his maternal uncles, his brother-in-laws. Like this, he got drowned in emotions. To an extent, he started telling Lord Krishna, what do I do even if I win, if I get this kingdom? What do I do with such a kingdom which has got the stains of killing my Acharya, my near and dear Pitamaha, and my cousins? What do I do? So, he was completely drained, he was completely down, and there was a point where he stoops and falls down on his knees. Imagine that scene. A warrior of such great might. What emotions can do to you. This is what we need to understand. It can either rise you up or it can throw you down. That is the power of the mind. So you allow these negative emotions to enter you. That's what Arjuna did. And he got a complete deceptive conception of the truth in front of him. And now he is on his knees. This is what Lord Krishna is seeing at, looking at Arjuna. He says, my God, this whole battle, this whole war was planned with Arjuna in the forefront, and see, this is the state. So, from this, what we have to understand is, like that one hope what you have in life, sometimes even that one greatest hope of yours can get shattered, which you think that it is your trump card, which you think that there is nothing to beat this and nothing to beat me. I have got this trump card with me and I am going to fight. And when that trump card falls, what could be the state of any person? So that's what Lord Krishna exactly says, don't give up. You have to do your best. And at that point of time, he tells Arjuna, Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tektva uttishta parantapa. Uttishta means get up, stand up, shake off your faint-heartedness. O Arjuna, scorcher of enemies, what is your state? You're kneeling down. Get up. And he starts giving him words of wisdom. That's when Lord Krishna, he does not go to the next level. He's waiting now. He's wanting Arjuna to completely come with surrender. Now this is again what we need to learn over here. That okay, I want to follow the path of spirituality. I want to read and understand, digest the Bhagavad Gita. All this is fine. But now with what level of surrender? So he waits till Arjuna finally tells him, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam, he says. He tells, O Krishna, accept me as your disciple. I am a friend to you. I am your brother-in-law. Don't look at me on those lines. That relationship is fine. But I want you to accept me as your disciple and tell me what befits me. So when Lord Krishna saw this surrender in him, then he started off. Till then he was modulating, mediating, intervening. But when Arjuna said, accept me as your student, then he comes out with full force. And he immediately starts. What do you think? You think that you're going to kill these people? Forget it. They are all of immortal nature. That there is something known as a soul, the self, which cannot be destroyed even though the body perishes. You can at best kill their body, that's all. And this soul just keeps changing bodies from lifetime to lifetime. Vasamshi jedani yatha vihaya. It's just like as you put on a new dress. You have come from office. Now you're going for a dinner party. So you're not going to go with your tie and your formal dress. You're going to put on your semi-casual clothes or your casual clothes. Now, the person did not change. I saw him 10 minutes back. He was somebody else. He looked somebody else. And now suddenly I see he is completely changed. So the person is the same. He has just put another costume. That's all. So the Lord says, this is something which doesn't die. Oh Arjuna, no, there is a soul within, it does not die. So if you think that you are killing them, you are really not killing them. You are not killing that immortal soul, you are only killing the external body. And in this way, he tells him about his social responsibilities. He gives him a crystal clear idea that what his duties are in life, and why he should fight for upholding righteousness. And he starts motivating Arjuna from the mundane level he had fallen to. And then he tells him, by acting in such consciousness, where although you have created a karma, where you might have killed somebody, but you have done it for the sake of protection of dharma. Sorry. So he says, that will not bind you. And in this way, now Lord Krishna gives him that knowledge and he prepares him. Now we should also understand that Arjuna is an instrument. The target is the whole humanity for Lord Krishna. From the Dwapara Yuga, now we are coming to Kali Yuga. So that is the last leg of Dwapara Yuga. Now he knows Kali Yuga is going to be one of the most degraded yuga where dharma has fallen to the lowest levels. And at that point of time, definitely the spiritual knowledge will help. So in that way, he imparted his knowledge. And how is this knowledge? It is from all the crux of all the Upanishads. Lord Krishna has put it in a fine manner, understandable manner, and a manner in which somebody could practice. So there he starts. If you see in Karma Yoga, which is the third chapter, he clearly says Karma Yoga is a path of action. Everybody does action. But every action we do binds you again back into the jiva bhava, where you do something good, you get punya, you do something bad, you get papa. And for this papa and punya, be it millions and millions and trillions of lives, you have to come back to experience the goodness and the uneasiness of this papa and punya. Now this is the law of karma. So he says, I will teach you a method where he says just detaching your mind from the fruits of action and developing a resolute conviction, a firm understanding with your intellect. Now, this is a very important aspect which we need to understand. We as humans, we are the only ones who have the faculty of intellect. That makes us special, and that makes us the only platform to understand God. Rest all, they may have a mind, but they don't have an intellect. So that resolute conviction, firm understanding with the intellect that all the work what I am doing is solely meant for the pleasure of God. It's not for my pleasure. It's not for my women fancy. So this way he gives this very simple technique. And now by this we understand he is openly telling that there is only one karma phala data, one centralized computing center of all the good and bad every jiva does in this universe. That karma phala data, he computes and he gives you dividends from time to time. So now this way, when you understand life in the right perspective, from where we come, what are we doing here, and who is the creator, what is that which is created, how it is created. So when we get the whole fabric of this spirituality, then there is no scope for sorrow in life. And what is the method you are going to check from time to time whether you are progressing in spirituality or not? This is the only thing. Your sorrows should reduce and you should come to a point where you start feeling exalted, happy, peaceful, joyful. Situations are the same, or they might have got even worse, but you are completely at peace. An example, there is so much of sorrow, there is so much of distress, there is so much of unhappiness around you. Do you mean to say all that unhappiness, that sorrow, that distress, is that affecting you? No. Maybe out of compassion, some partially emotionally you are getting affected, but it is not affecting you the way your sorrows, your life situations are affecting you. The reason is we are bound to this body and mind of ours. Very important things. So just as we look at others in the Shakshi bhava as a witness, in the same way we should detach ourselves from this body, this mind, and look at this body and mind also as another third person. Then you become that pure witness. So these are all the fine techniques which we are going to learn over here. And he also mentions in the second chapter, Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna, these are the signs of those who are in that Sakshi Bhava, who are situated in that transcendence, who are free from attachment, who are free from fear, who are free from anger, who are equipoised and undisturbed in all situations. And their senses are what? They are most of the time subdued. They don't immediately react. And where are their minds? Their minds are ever absorbed in the Lord. Not in that situation. They're just looking at that situation, as you look at the side glance. Where is your mind? Where is your senses? They are all absorbed in God. You are doing, it could be as easy as you're chanting. You are feeling that awareness. You are connected to the Lord. And these situations are happening. Whatever happens will happen. And in whatever way the Lord has to get this body and mind to react, it will do. Why are you bothered when so many functions in your body are happening without your knowledge and understanding? Then leave this also to the Lord. So in this way, this particular Sthita Prajna, he gives up his that attention towards the world, and he has diverted his mind towards the Lord. And here the Lord also talks about how the afflictions of the mind, the lust, anger, greed, how they develop in us and how one can eradicate them. So these are the Shadrupus. These are like our enemies, which we should not entertain. You may be a good person. Like Shirdi Sai Baba, he once narrated a story. There was a farmer who was living in a village, and it so happened that on a late evening, one stranger comes to his house and he says, I have lost my way and it's already dark now. Can I take shelter in your courtyard for the night? A very common request any traveler could make. So there was enough space in front of the house, the veranda, what we call. Can I stay here? He asks the farmer. The farmer says, yeah, why not? Why not? And then he says, it's pretty cold in the night, so please come in and stay with me. So that person came inside, and then he fell ill. He could not go as he desired to go the next day. Now this farmer had to take care of him, give him food, give him medicines. See, another person comes on the same lines, and this farmer entertained him. Likewise, one after the other, 6 people came and they all were staying in his house. A very kind person. Imagine. Now he compares, Shirdi Baba compares these 6 people to those Shadripus. They have come in a very nice manner, they have come. And now what they are doing, they are exhibiting their authority over you. And now you are telling them go, they are giving some reason or the other and they are not going. However best you are trying to send them, they are not going. They have become strong. And you are one person in your house, there are 6 people and you are not able to drive them out. So this way, what happens is, we are bound by these qualities which are none other than Maya. So the Lord says, this is what I have created, how I have created. I have given a challenge to a soul. Only those souls who can rise above all this, only they can reach me. So he talks about how a body can remain without action cannot remain without action even for a moment. Meaning we all have to be in continuous activity. So this he talks about in the 3rd chapter. Nahi kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita karyate hevashak karmaha sarva prakriti jair gunaihi, he says. Which means there is no one, no jiva who can remain or perform without action. Even for a moment. We may think that, okay, now I am sitting absolutely still. But you are breathing, your digestion is going on, your blood supply is happening, purification is happening. So he says all this is by the act of the qualities born out of Prakriti, the natural action which is happening within us. So from then he says, apart from this, he says, the situation is that one has to, a person who has got a spiritual mind, understanding that Prakriti is doing everything. So there he comes up, clearly says that even the food which you are getting, you might feel that you are paid for it. but it is nature which has created that food. He says this food you have to offer as sacrifice to nature. Then you are released from all kinds of sins. Otherwise, you may buy your own food, you may cook, and you may eat for your enjoyment, which means he clearly says you are only eating sin. Nobody can, say in much harsher words. Yajna shishta shinas santo muchyante sarva kilbishaihi bhunjate tvagam papa. Papa, he says, it is a sin. Ye pachanyatma karanat. So these are like small things again which we all need to pay attention to. Be grateful for that food what we get. Don't think that I have done karma and I have all the right over what I am enjoying. Then he says the celestial gods, they are satisfied by the performance of sacrifice. What is the sacrifice? That as you all celestial gods are working to keep the nature going fit and fine, in the same way, me too as a jiva, I am cooperating with nature. I am working in tandem. I am working in synchronization, in harmony with nature. And there you offer everything and you say, everything I am doing is as a part of your team. So this he talks about in the 12th verse. And then the Lord very clearly says that it is Prakriti which is doing everything. Don't think that you are doing anything. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimodhatma kartaramiti manyate. Which means it is only that soul which is deluded, ahankara vimodhatma, by that false identification with the body, the mind, it thinks that it is the doer. Otherwise, it is only the three modes of Prakriti, which are the Sattva, Rajas and Tamo Guna, which acts in you. So then he talks about the Raga Dvesha in the 3rd chapter again. These two principal enemies which are there, standing in our way of redemption. Redemption means reaching the goal of moksha. He says, what are these two? Raga Dvesha. If you see, our entire life can be divided into two aspects, what I like and what I dislike. Analyze and see. What I like, I run after them. Constantly I am chasing them. Meaning I keep asking, Arey, did this thing happen? Ye kaam ho gaya? Kab hoga? No. You are again and again asking, Arey madam, Arey sir, I told you it will take a month, but you call after a week. What? Because you like it. You want that work to happen, you keep chasing. And what you dislike, it is like you run away from it. You don't want to go near it. So this is this Raga Dvesha. So in this way, this is life. You can't do anything about it. So the Lord explains, and then finally he tells him that since we are in a mode of action, now I'll teach you, O Arjuna, how one can make your actions work in your favor. Even though it could be a bad action, according to like killing a person. Now you are in war, you have to kill a person. It could be considered as heinous, but it is not. I will teach you how. So there he comes to in Gnana Karma Sanyasa Yoga in chapter 4. That action which is based with knowledge and discipline. The yoga of knowledge and the disciplines of action. Now, this is what he is going to explain to us in chapter 4. So, which means now we all can modulate our actions, our thought process, each and every incident in our life, how we carry it forward. This we will be able to understand over here. I'll just explain the key takeaways, what we have in this chapter 4. how it starts, just to get an idea. So it is the greatness of this knowledge, this Divya Gnana, what we call. What is this greatness? What is this lineage? How did it come? So that is of great interest for us. See, as I told you, understanding the Gita gives you the overall picture of the creator, the created. So how did the creator, where did he start giving this knowledge? That is in the first few verses we understand. And then he also makes a very special notification saying it is given only to deserving souls, not to Tom, Dick and Harry. Even if Tom, Dick and Harry listen to it, they will not understand it. And then he tells Arjuna, after having spoken about how this knowledge is given, he then reveals his identity. First time Lord Krishna reveals what is his true identity. And then he says, because of a decline in dharma, righteousness, I have shown up over here. He has to give a reason, no? If you are the Lord, if you are the creator of this entire universe, then what are you doing here? Why are you standing in front of me? That question can come to anybody. So there he says, dharma samsthapanarthaya. Just to uplift that dharma which has gone below a particular level. It is being pushed and rubbed to the floor. So this is why I have shown up. And then he tells those who understand me, like you as the creator, Lord as the creator, and we as the created, and what is that essence in us and what is that in the Lord which is common. He says, he gives a promise. If you have understood me truly, take it from me, you will not take a birth again. Meaning, you are free from this samsara. Very emphatically he tells this. You become one with me. And then he talks about vita, raga, bhaya, krodha, all these negative tendencies, how they are in a person, how to get rid of them, and how to understand the Lord. He talks about that. Then he talks about the four varnas, which we currently talk as jati, caste. He talks what is the true essence of these four varnas. Then he again now comes to the most important part, which is this karma, akarma, and vikarma. Action, inaction, and forbidden action. Very beautifully he explains this. And then he talks about the Sakshi bhava, the Drishta bhava. Sakshi bhava is where you are looking at everything as a witness. Just like you are looking at a third person as a witness, Sakshi, in the same way you start looking at your own self as a Sakshi. And this can be possible only through inaction, inaction. Inaction, in action. Although you are doing action, but you are doing it in that Sakshi Bhava. And then he talks about the worldly life and how one can, being in the world, live a life of spirituality, and how one can free from karma. And then he talks about this Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, that the whole creation is nothing but he and he alone. Through this particular shloka he explains. Then what are the types of yajna? Various kinds of sacrifices. Then how to approach a guru. And most immoral sinners. Now let's say we might have committed a lot of sins. See, previous birth and the births before that, we don't know what we have done. But at least we know in this life what we have done. Good, bad, ugly. He says you might have been the most immoral sinner. But if you have made a resolve to reach me, I will help you to cross over. See, what more you want? All these beautiful things are there in this chapter. It's going to be an enjoyable ride till the end from the beginning. Amazing facts have been told in this particular chapter. So here, just to give you an idea of action in action, because this it actually confuses you. Karma is action, akarma is inaction. Inaction is although you are doing something but you are not doing that, and vikarma is forbidden action. So the secret what he tells here is, he says that while you are performing an action, you are looking at that action, the doer of that action, as a witness. Then it becomes inaction, which means even though you have done the action, it does not count on you. So for this there is a beautiful story. Back then, the gopis in Mathura, they wanted to give food to Durvasa Muni, who was on the other side of the river Yamuna. So now, normally they have got their own ways of transport to cross the river Yamuna and transact between the two banks. But that day what happens? The river has swelled because of excess rain, and none of these ferry boat uh, operators, they are working that day, so they are all declining. They're not ready to come. Now how will these gopis, now they have given a word to Durvasa Muni, and you know Durvasa Muni is known for getting angry. He did not even spare the Trimurtis. So at that point of time, these people, gopis, all go to Krishna and they said, now you are our savior. Tell us how we can cross the Yamuna river. We need to go and give Durvasa the lunch what we have prepared. Now Krishna, he tells the gopis, go and stand in front of Yamuna river and say to the Yamuna river, Mata Yamuna, that if Krishna has always been detached from women, girls, or whatever it is, then you please give us way. So Krishna is always detached, please give us way. Now this gopi said, all the time you are playing with us, you are always with us. Meaning he says that if Krishna has been far from women or girls, then you give us the way, meaning they understood it is a false statement. What are you talking? You are all the time playing with us. But he says, no, go and tell this to Yamuna river. Krishna is a person who has always kept away from girls and women. Now they go. They have faith in Krishna. They go. They stand in front of the river and they say these words. Immediately they see that Yamuna river makes way. A fine path is laid, which they can see the other bank. And not that there are stones below, it is finely laid with flowers, so that it is soft and comfortable for them to cross. They were shocked, but they want to finish their job, so they quickly cross the river. And now their intention is, we have gotten over, will now offer this our lunch prasad to Durvasa Muni, take his blessings, and we are done. They do that. They go and give Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni tells them, please serve the food. Durvasa Muni properly, he enjoys the meal. Every morsel he was enjoying, he was praising that it is cooked so well, it is so tasty, so delicious, so yummy. And these gopis are serving more and more, and he is eating up to a stage. where he is completely full. And these people saw that. They were very happy. They said, our job is done. He is so satisfied. And then they received blessings also. So, thank God. Now we are done for the day. And then again, what now? Next, then the problem comes in front of the mind. How are we going back to Mathura now? The situation of the river is the same. So they go to Durvasa Muni and say, "O Muni, please help us. This to cross the Yamuna river." So Durvasa Muni says, "Don't worry, just go and stand in front of the Yamuna river and tell the Yamuna river that Durvasa Muni is an upavasi, meaning he is fasting." These people again, they look at each other, these gopis, my God, he has eaten to the brim and is saying he is an upavasi. But they can't understand. In terms of thinking logically, they are not able to understand. But they also know that these people are all great rishis and munis. So they go and they stand in front of Yamuna river and say, Durvasa Muni is an upavasi. And there again it gives way. The same way as it did when they told that Krishna is always away from girls and women. So they were shocked. Now they again come back to Mathura and then they go to Lord Krishna and ask, what is this? You said something which we see you doing all the time. Durvasa Muni properly had his lunch to the brim and then he says he's an upavasi. How did this happen? See, otherwise the Yamuna river would not have given way. So there he explains, Lord Krishna explains, although we did that action, but we were in action. Inaction is one word. We did that action, meaning I was in that action, but I was enacting, meaning I did that with the bhava of Shakshi bhava. I distanced myself from the body and mind, and I was looking at myself as a drashta, a Sakshi. So this is the essence of this particular chapter. So as they say, anything you do in life, there's one saying in Hindi, neki kar aur kuएं mein dal. Neki kar aur kuएं mein dal meaning do good and throw it in the well. So meaning not that, don't have the pride that you have done that good. So this कर्म कर और भगवान को सौंप दे, meaning you do your duty and just offer it at the feet of the Lord. This is the primary essence of this particular chapter. Do good, throw it in the well. In the same way, you have not done it. It is that Lord in you who has done it. Never take credit for you having done it. Okay. So it's 6:20 now. Okay, so we'll just begin with verse 1 and then after 10 minutes we'll end and we'll go to the next step. Okay, I'll post the shloka, we'll read the shloka and then move forward. Shri Bhagavanuvacha imam vivasvate yogam प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययम् विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह मुनिरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्. So here Lord Krishna straight he starts this chapter without giving a chance for Arjuna to talk. Now he wants to carry a concept forward. He does not give Arjuna scope to ask him any questions or discuss. He straight moves forward and he says, what does he say? He basically now touches base on the aspect of creation and this knowledge. Primarily what we are interested is, we are interested in understanding where this knowledge came from, isn't it? So now that is what in the first 3 shlokas he establishes certain facts of his creation. So, imam yogam aham proktavan, which means this knowledge which I am about to give you, O Arjuna, is that by which a person can rise from his current jivatva status or the jiva bhava status to the paramatma tattva status. Straight. Imam yogam, this yoga, Gnana yoga, aham proktavan, I am going to tell you. And what will it do? You are now a jiva who is on a roller coaster ride. If you understand this, what I am going to give you, you will reach the status of the Supreme, which means you will dissolve and absorb yourself into the Paramatma Tattva. And then he explains to him, not that I am telling you for the first time. Don't think that I have not told this before to anybody. And don't think that you are the first person who is receiving this. I have told long back. No, even we or Arjuna may get a doubt. So far, Lord Krishna has never given this knowledge in his life. In the Treta Yuga, meaning during the Mahabharata times, then Gita was told for the first time on the battlefield. So now, we all get a doubt that when and where was this told then? Was there some other occasion where there was somewhere where this knowledge was given? So, to understand this, we have to get one point very clear. At the end of every chapter, we see Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu. Meaning Upanishatsu, meaning this knowledge is from the Upanishads. Very clearly he says, Brahma Vidyayam, this is Brahma Vidya from the Upanishads. I have told long back. And this Upanishad comes from the Bhagavad Swarupa. Bhagavad Swarupa means from the divine manifestation, this knowledge has been given. See, here we should understand one great aspect which has happened. Although Lord Krishna is Paramatma himself, he does not claim, put a name to the Bhagavad Gita as Sri Krishna Gita or something like that. He just makes it as Bhagavad Gita. Because there are so many Gitas which you see, there are almost 60 Gitas in existence now, which are named after the person or the Devata or the Rishi or the Muni. Like we have Guru Gita, Ashtavakra Gita, Avaduta Gita, then you have the Janaka Gita, Sri Rama Gita, Vashishta Gita, Baka Gita, Uddhava Gita, Hamsa Gita, Kapila Gita, Narada Gita, Ganesha Gita, Devi Gita. So likewise there are about 60, but here Lord Krishna, he does not put his name as Krishna Gita, because he just calls it as Bhagavad Gita, and we should understand that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Who is Krishna? He is Bhagavan Swayam. He is the Lord himself. So even though the word Krishna is not put forth there, he is that Bhagavan himself. So Bhagavad Gita. He is the Upanishads. And Upanishads are nothing but his manifestation. It is he himself has given the Upanishads and the Vedas to the world. So his manifestation becomes the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavata Gitam iti Bhagavad Gita. So whatever he says has become the Bhagavad Gita. So the Lord, now explaining such a Bhagavad Gita, makes the opening remarks in the Gnana Karma Sanyasa Yoga. He says, Imam Yogam Aham Proktavan. O Arjuna, you think I am now telling you in the midst of the battlefield about this Bhagavad Gita? No, you are grossly mistaken. I have told this long, long back. And when Arjuna asks him the question, Vivasvate Aham Proktavan. He says, when did you tell last? When was this you told last? He says, Vivasvate Aham Proktavan. Vivasvate Aham Proktavan. I told this for the first time to Vivaswan. Vivaswan means Lord Surya. See? Now we ask somebody, when did you tell this last? And if he says, I told this, to Buddha or to say Shankaracharya. When you talk of these kind of things, when were they? They were 2000 years before, they were 1200 years before. How can you tell this to those people? It was that kind of a shock to Arjuna. Vivaswan, Lord Surya, he was created millions and millions of years ago. Lord Surya, he says, I told this to Lord Surya, who encompasses the entire Prakriti with his divine rays. Visheshena vivaste prabhaya achayadati iti vivaswan. So one who has his illustrious rays which cover the entire world. Now, why was this told to Lord Surya only, or Surya Bhagavan first? Now, if you see carefully, in this entire creation, Lord Surya is the first and foremost. Because without the sun, this planet cannot exist. The cause and the beginning of this entire creation is is Surya Bhagavan. Because without sun, there cannot be any life. And even in fact, science also accepts this. That's why in this every mantra which we say in the Sandhya Vandan and our prayers, the first thing what anybody says in the morning when they pray, Namas Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushe Jagat Prasuti Stitanasha Hetave Trayi Mayaya Trigunatma Dharine Virinchi Narayana Shankaratmane Mitra Ravi Surya Bhanu Kaga Pushya Hiranya Garbha Maricha Aditya Savitrarka Bhaskarebhyo Namaha Deha Sada Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti Narayana Sarasijasana Sannivishtaha Keyuravan Makarakundalavan Kiriti. All this is in praise of Lord Surya Narayan. First prayer in the morning. So it is that Surya Narayan, it is that Narayana Murti, Lord Narayana's major amsha in this creation is the sun, the Lord Surya, through whom everything in this Prakriti is happening. So Lord Surya, if you have to say, is Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar also. He is the Karta, he is the Harta, he is the Bhokta also. So Lord Surya is everything, without whom life comes to a standstill or to an end. All the greatest scientists of the world accept that sun is the source of life. So in this way, that which nature survives and prevails. Surya is Sarvalokasya Shakti. Just like life is to a body, without that life principle in us, as we are dead, same way the sun is life to the Prakriti. So Prakriti is a body, if you assume, the sun is that life in that body, without which Prakriti is dead, and Prakriti dead meaning we are also dead. So Lord Surya in our tradition is absolutely considered as God. If someone, in the night they ask you, show me God, it is like pitch dark night. If they say, show me God, you will say, see, now it is dark. You can't see anything. Even if I try to show you also, you cannot see. So now have your dinner, sleep well, and I will show you God first thing in the morning. And the first thing in the morning when you get up, as the sun dawns upon, you show him, you show that person, they point your finger at the sun and say, this is God. And because of whom we are here. Namas Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushe. So that is our culture. We have completely taken as this particular force, this particular deity as the Lord. So here Lord Krishna says that this is to Vivaswan, the Surya Bhagavan. It was the first to whom I gave this knowledge. And now henceforth what happens is, Lord Krishna further explains that from Surya Bhagavan it was given to his son, and from his son so on and so forth. So in the next class we will understand about Lord's the Surya Narayan, and he has 3 wives, and who are they and who are his children, and also we'll understand the creation aspect. Now we all know the calendar, the English calendar, that we have 12 months, about 54 weeks, 7 days in a week, and now we are in the 21st century. All this we know. But we will take now from the very existence, beginning of existence, how many days of Brahma, how many Manus have to come, and what is the lifetime of a Manu, and how many days of the lifetimes of Manu. It is 1 day of Brahma, 1 night of Brahma, and how many years of Brahma. That cycle we will understand in detail. Very interesting. You will then understand what is the power of our Sanatana Dharma, how vast and in depth it is. It will be interesting. Okay, come. So now we'll study the meaning of Vishnu Sahasranam. Shloka 29, 267 and 268. Vagmi. Vagmi means one who is eloquent of his glory. I'll first read the shloka, sorry. Shloka 29. Subhujo durdaro vagmi mahendro vasudho vasuhu नैकरूपो बृहद्रूपः पिपिविष्टप्रकाशनः. Vagmi, one who is eloquent of his glory. The full sense of the term should embrace not only the eloquence in speech, but all physical capabilities in the world, all the glories of the cosmos, all the beauties of the heart, the total might of the intellect, all are eloquent of his glory. Through the scriptures of the world, it is again he who speaks to us of our ultimate harbor beyond the stormy seas of Maya. In the simple words of brilliant suggestions declared by the saints, sages, rishis, prophets, and other divine. 268. Mahendraha, one who is the Lord of even Indra, and Indra is the Lord of gods. In philosophy, the mind is called Indra, Indriyanam Raja, And one who is the Lord of even the mind is the self Atma within. To such a Lord, Vagni and Mahendra, we offer our humble salutation. Seek His grace, mercy, and blessing. Let's chant the Dhanvantari mantra 3 times. ॐ नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वभयविनाशाय सर्वरोगनिवारणाय त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्रीमहाविष्णुस्वरूप श्रीधन्वन्तरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषधचक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वभयविनाशाय सर्वरोगनिवारणाय त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्रीमहाविष्णुस्वरूप श्रीधन्वन्तरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषधचक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा। ॐ नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वभयविनाशाय सर्वरोगनिवारणाय त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्रीमहाविष्णुस्वरूप श्रीधन्वन्तरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषधचक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा। O Lord Dhanvantari, the God of health, please give us health till the time which we achieve our goal. Om. Now let's do the Sakshatkara Siddhi Yoga Dhyana. Please make yourself comfortable. Relax yourself. If you need to get up and sit down again, please do that. Head, neck and spine in a straight line. Now complete relax your face. Your forehead, your neck, your shoulder, your arms, and your entire. Let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in deep. Now let's start the first level, Antarika Drishanuvitsa Vikalpa Samadhi. Now, here in a state of Sakshi bhava, you are witnessing your mind, all the thoughts that come into your mind without being judgmental. You are only witnessing. Let's practice this. Look at the thoughts which come into your mind. Without being judgmental, allow the thoughts to move forward as though you're looking at the traffic on the road from your window. Just observe the thoughts, having nothing to say, nothing to analyze. You will notice a sharp reduction in the number of thoughts. And it will come to a state where there are no thoughts. In between, if you want, you can shift your attention to the breath and again back to your mind and the thoughts. Now we go to the next level, Antarika, Shabdanuvitsa Samadhi. So here what we shall do is, we are bringing in the oneness between this Jivatma and we are expanding the awareness which is within us slowly to the external consciousness, which is the Chaitanya. Become aware of your awareness within your body. That awareness, which is the life principle within you, slowly feel that that awareness is outside you, at your arm's length. Give it a color of your choice. It's like that ball of light around you. Now visualize this awareness in the form of light around you, slowly expanding to your entire room. your entire house, your entire street, your entire town or city. Visualize it expanding to your entire state, country, continent, and the whole. Feel the power of awareness inside you and outside you. Be in the state completely absorbed, having crossed the limits of your body and mind, becoming that pure awareness. This is your true state. So, um, so, 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 um, slowly bring back expanded awareness. See it slow contracting towards you from the planet to the continent, from the continent, the entire country. The state, to your city and place. Street, the house, to your room, to one arm's length around you. Completely this awareness is within you. Feel the awareness completely within you. Become aware of your breath. Become aware of your body and mind. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Aha. Slowly rub your palm. Place them on your eyes. Feel the warmth. And lovingly open your eyes. Together, we offer today's Gita Gnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord. Na ham karta hari karta hari preranaya hari pritya Shri Krishna arpanamastu. Idam namama. Om. We seek the Lord's blessing. Praise.